Hi, my name is Melanie DePietro, and I did my presentation on Jennifer Bartlett, who was an abstract artist from the 1960s to 1970s. Some of her later work appeared in the 1980s. She was born in Long Beach, California in 1941. She did her undergrad at Mills College in Oakland, California, and then went on to do her grad work at Yale School of Art, receiving an MFA in architecture. She specializes in prints and paintings of ordinary objects, but she uses a lot of different mediums and colors to make them more abstract and stand out a little bit. She mixes abstract and representational styles, which makes her a very interesting artist. Representational style art is when you use an object to substitute for a meaning of something else. Sometimes when she would draw her houses, she would draw one house by itself with nothing around it, but if she would draw a group of houses, she would draw a little driveway or a sun or trees, which could represent a fear of abandonment. It could represent how people act different alone than in a group. It's basically up for interpretation. She has an MFA in architecture, as I mentioned, which definitely comes through in her art with her love of painting houses. Her houses are always very clearly defined, even if she uses splatter painting or large brush strokes. You can still definitely tell it's a house with a square base and a triangular roof. She uses unusual mediums to make her trademark style. She uses things people have never tried before, like the steel plate she used in a painting, or the silk screen, which was just up and coming at this period in time. I like this artist because through this course, I have come to realize that I like modern art. I like art that's definitely up for interpretation, which is what she does. The 60s was a good time for this. She uses a lot of bright colors, which was very popular then. She also makes things appear as though they're glittering or lighting up, which I thought was very cool. As you can see in this fireworks painting, it looks like the fireworks are literally going off, but it's just how she used the colors and brush strokes. She definitely led an interesting life. She studied under a lot of famous artists, Alex Katz, Jim Dime, who were very famous in the minimalism style of art, which was actually a reaction against abstract expressionism. In 1976, she officially entered the art scene with one of her most famous works, which was Rhapsody. It was 987 baked enamel tiles, which stretched over 153 feet in length. She worked as an instructor at the School of Visual Arts in New York. She also won a lot of prizes, the Art Institute of Chicago Harris Prize, the American Institute of Architects Award. And also, what was interesting, from 1979 to 1980, she decided she was going to lock herself in a little house in southern France, which actually turned out to be a really dreary, dark house. And she was going to teach herself to draw again. She produced over 200 paintings using charcoal, which are still in circulation today. They were mostly of ordinary objects, a boy, a house, here and there. As far as formal elements go, she used a lot of different mediums, which was her main claim to fame there. She used pastel, charcoal, glass. She painted on plaster. She obviously used the steel grids. She used silk screen. She also used very broken lines, never straight lines, large brush strokes, which led to the illusion of the reflection on the water or sunlight glittering. As far as organizational principles go, she used a lot of contrast and colors. Her color value changed a lot throughout the painting. It would be dark, then it would be light, but it all sort of blended together. Her art was always very unified. There was proportion and harmony. She definitely didn't have a main focal point. Even in her paintings of houses, where you would think the house would be the main focal point, it kind of blended in the way she proportioned her colors and the way she used her brush strokes and dots to create a kind of unified picture, whereas you're looking at the whole thing instead of just one part of the picture. Sometimes she did use geometric shapes. As I said, her houses were clearly defined, and when she used grids, you could clearly see the squares. But for the most part, it was very abstract. It was a blend array of colors, bright colors, which made her art very different and unified. As far as themes and purposes, for a while in the 80s, she took to painting murals at buildings, corporate offices, even private homes, museums, things like that. She did a 200-foot mural at the Federal Building in Georgia. She also, as I've mentioned a couple times, she liked to paint ordinary objects, houses being her favorite. As you can see, this is one of her paintings entitled Houses. Her intent was always to make her viewer part of the art. She wanted them to be an active participant and decide what it meant to them and what she was thinking when she did it. She was very not specific in making the meanings clear of why she painted what she did or how she did it, which is the reason I really like her and really she came to grow on me. So I hope you enjoyed my presentation. Jennifer Bartlett was an incredible artist, and I'm glad they are renewing some of her artwork and putting it back up for anniversaries in museums again, because her artwork is definitely amazing and definitely deserves to be seen.